welcome back. We're here again for Real Detroit Test Drive. Today we're taking out the 2014 Buick Lacrosse. This is the 1SL version. It's a lovely ride, and I'm joined with our special guest, Scott Fader of Suits for Soldiers.
How you doing today? I'm glad to be here with Mr. Terry Bean himself.
I'm excited to have you here. So today, like always, we're going to talk a little bit about the car. We're also going to talk a little bit about great people doing great things in the Detroit area, and Scott is no shortage of greatness in this town, man. So tell us, Suits for Soldiers, what's that all about?
It's about empowering the veterans when they're out of the military to get on the right path, make sure they got the right job, the right career, get the right house, the right education. We kind of help them out with all aspects of, transitioning out of the military to make sure that their future is as beautiful as ours.
That's fantastic. Fantastic indeed. Now, as I recall, you started this last summer after you yourself returned from the military, and thank you for your service.
Well, thank you. Yes, I started actually while I was in Afghanistan in August of 2012 in Kandahar province at the Air Force Base.
Okay, so it was even before you left. What stemmed the need? What did you see that said, hey, I got to do this. I got to leave right now?
The basic premise of it was a soldier who got out of the military, couldn't get a job because he didn't have the proper attire. So I made a joke to my wife on Facebook while sitting there in Kandahar that I wanted to start a nonprofit called Suits for Soldiers. And what started as just getting clothing for veterans now it's turned into jobs. We help them get jobs. We help them do their resume. We help them get housing. We help them get educated, basic life skills, a whole gamut of things. It was actually a guy that was in California that I read an article online. It wasn't even like somebody I knew personally. So I was doing this for a complete stranger and made a few phone calls, got them a suit and a few other people kind of rocking and rolling with getting their proper business attire, before I even had boots on ground back in the States. In the last 6 months of last year, we got over 70 people hired to jobs, going really one by one to employers, teaching them about the positive things of hiring a veteran and also their great tax credits for hiring veterans. We've given away a couple thousand suits in the last few months, and going into this year we're starting to give educational classes every month. For a little short story is on Saturday we had a homeless veteran meet us at the Dingle Hospital in Detroit at 7:30 a.m. We got him a suit right on site. Chris Hart and I took him to the computer lab. We got him a resume completely done. And we introduced him to a number of employers which actually are looking for him. And we also are getting him to a shelter where he can have 3 square meals a day, not just any shelter, but a transitional housing. So it's kind of like living at Motel 8 with a kitchen.
So that's really cool. So you took this guy who, I'm not going to say he had nothing, but he probably didn't have a lot of prospect, and gave him the opportunity to look right, have the right tools for success, and really get out there and go talk to some contacts that he wouldn't have had he not shown up and had you not shown up on Saturday.
Right, he was actually waiting there for us. He had heard, the scuttlebutt on the streets that we could help him do something, and he heard about the job fair and I was going to be there. He actually was waiting there, and told somebody he was waiting for me to show up at the hospital. So it was kind of neat that, the word's spreading enough to where even a guy who, has limited computer access has heard about us and knows where to go to get help.
Right, so that's impressive. Like, he even finds the event, meaning, if he doesn't have a computer, he doesn't have the tools to connect, but next thing you know, he's there where you guys are. That's really cool. That's some really solid word of mouth you're all getting.
It's beautiful, and it's like the people of Detroit, not even Detroit, nationwide, people are, we get emails every day basically nationwide, somebody seeking this help and that help, and it warms me just to know that people are out there spreading the word, not, and not looking for anything in return. They're just actually spreading the word.
That is so cool. You've helped a bunch of people do some really cool stuff. That's got to feel really, really good.
It does. I'm a believer in karma. It's about giving back to the community. Whatever you give back to your community touches not just the one life you change, but those lives that they touch. And, karma, it spreads. People don't look at it, as a worldly thing, but for every person you touch and talk to each day, they're going to tell your story 10 other times. They're going to spread the story. and it comes back. And I'm not saying in a monetary way or anything. I'm a believer in good things will come to me, my family, my future generations, because of what I'm doing today. People will remember that. It's just fun to see the emails that come back. It's, I've got a guy who we helped months ago, and he's like, thank you, I'm now in my own apartment. I've got donated furniture. I've been through all the resources that you've been giving me, and now my life is stable. People don't forget about it, and you get these, I think they're really cool emails, and they're just like, hey, thank you, and they tell their story. And those are the stories. It's like, I don't care about my story. I like their stories, because everybody asks about me and how I created it, why I'm doing it, but it's the stories of the people we've helped that are more amazing than my story.
I love that. Absolutely love that. I think that's an important aspect to take in. If you are interested in other people before being worried about being interesting to other people, it's amazing how much better the conversation becomes.
It's about telling the stories of taking somebody from homeless to a home. You cannot get any better than taking somebody who's sleeping on the streets one day to now they're waking up with fresh sheets, fresh clothing, a shower that's actually warm. They're not busting pipes in Detroit to take a shower, which we've heard these stories that, I've been, bathing out of a spigot. And now it's like they're in an awesome shelter called Vets Returning Home, and right there in Roseville. You can't beat it. It's amazing. It's heartwarming.
You are doing great work. Are you finding a lot of support with what you're doing? You getting a lot of good partnerships, a lot of good community support out of it?
We are. There's a lot of people. As you know, you were up at our event the other day. We had over 300 people show up to show their respect and their support for the veteran community. And it's great. It's, people share the message. People are partnering with us. They're offering us stuff to further our cause. And, and that's what we're about. We're not always looking for large donations and whatnot, but we're looking for partnerships that we can grow together, because sometimes it may not be a financial thing that we need. It may be clothing, housing, donated items to get somebody in a house. So we're making a lot of good progress, making good partnerships. You're doing something in Detroit, which is going to probably lead me to actually capture some other ears, which is an amazing partnership there.
And anytime I can support somebody that's doing amazing things, I am all for getting their story told. And that's part of the reason that we started this whole Real Detroit test drive. Lots of cool people doing lots of cool things. And, Detroit is as a national reputation just gets bashed. But it doesn't matter, man. There are people that are pulling themselves up by the bootstraps and simultaneously pulling up others by their bootstraps too. And the rest of the world and the rest of the country and heck, the rest of the city needs to know this stuff is going on. So that's part of why we do it.
See, and it's beautiful that you started. How else would I get to drive in a peanut butter colored car with mint stitching?
Here's what I know about this car. A couple of things. One, thing is comfortable, it's spacious, it's roomy. How are you doing over there?
I'm very comfortable. I'm shorter than you, and I'm comfortable, and I love the digital work on this car.
The digital analog, it's kind of like new school meets old school simultaneously. The sound system is great. It's got the IntelliLink system, which is very, very digital and very much an infotainment system, as you will. I like that part, and the screen's really nice, and there's all kinds of videos that we've got on the IntelliLink system, so we don't have to talk about that. But this is the 1SL version with the 2.4-liter engine. It's mated to the 6-speed transmission. These are heated seats. It's got the dual climate control, so if I'm one of those guys that gets real hot easy, I can turn my side down, and if you're like my wife, you could turn your side way up. Buick's going out of their way to get away from that, hey, this is your grandmother's car. They're trying to change that image, and they've done a pretty good job. Literally in the last 10 years, I think the average age of Buick owners has gone down by 8 years. And if you think about that, that's pretty impressive. The styling of this car and some of the other cars in their lineup is the reason.
The automotive industry has always been something I've been around, and I've always loved. I love cars. I love technology. That's why I love these screens.
Yeah.
That's why that is so impressive, that, a digital speedometer.
It is pretty cool, man. It really is. It's got that, like I said, it's got that older look to it. It looks like it's analog, but it is straight up digital. It's pretty slick, man.
Yeah.
I love all the steering wheel controls too, you know, so you don't have to take your hands off. I think that's really, really slick. Change the radio station, change the volume. You know, a lot of these cars you can actually control your phone from it. This one's got the voice activated button on it right here.
See, I love the phone control. It's like you say, call so-and-so.
Yeah.
It goes. You say, drive me here, it goes. You know?
I really wish there was a drive me here button. That would be good.
Different organizations that are out there that, you know, people don't know about that support what we do, and we support them back. Like I said, Vets Returning Home is a good one that most veterans don't know about, but it's a good place in winter where they can go and live. They can live it year round, but it's a good place for homeless veterans to go, and at the same time they'll get you into resume writing and they'll help you get jobs too. We're working with them, and you know, people at the state of Michigan have been amazing, like Mark Meadows, stuff like that. That people like that are just amazing because they're giving and giving back to the community, and they want to see change. And what they do is they go to the work every day. They work 12 hours and then they take phone calls at 3 o'clock in the morning like we do, and nobody complains about it. People in the circle that I've been working with these veteran organizations, they get a call at 3 o'clock in the morning. I've left my house in Metamora to go down to Wyandotte at 3 o'clock in the morning, which is about an hour and 45-minute drive, to help a veteran go from under a bridge to finding a place to sleep.
Wow.
And so those are like little stories I just had to add to show there are amazing people. I mean, that it's just not me. There's a lot of amazing people behind the scenes that make this thing, you know, beautiful.
No, that's for sure. That is crazy cool, man. Crazy cool. And how do people support you? What do you need to be able to continue your mission?
To continue the mission, the main thing is financial. You know, we're trying to raise money for a building right now to be able to serve vets 7 days a week. You know, so they're not like stuck to the 9-to-5 jobs of the, you know, offices that they normally go to. We also need suits or business attire for men and women. So financially, or suits and business attire for men and women, and you know, that's basically how they can support us right now.
And how do they get that stuff here?
They can visit the website at www.suitsforsoldiers.org or call us at 248-757-8829. And we'll be more than happy to direct you to the right location. So we're looking for additional drop-off locations throughout the Southeast Michigan area to be able to collect business attire and into bins, and we'll collect it every other week to make sure that it doesn't, you know, create a mess.
Right on. Right on. Well, that's awesome, dude. Thank you so much for taking the time. We really appreciate you coming out.
It's my pleasure.
Awesome, man. Awesome. All right. Well, that was Scott Fader, Suits for Soldiers. You can check them out at www.suitsforsoldiers.org, all spelled out. Great organization doing great things. Thanks for paying attention to us here at Real Detroit Test Drive. Have a great day.